Games, like all art, come and go, with most of them leaving some ephemeral memory, be it good or bad, that lingers as an emotion, but not much else. Rarely will a game provide something that surprises me, a twist in a story or a really satisfying mechanic that I'll long after refer to or compare other games to. Unique to Disco Elysium, though, is something that changes how my brain comprehends reality. The core of this game is basically a classic role-playing game, or CRPG, where you play a character who moves around a space interacting with various items and people, and through a series of behind-the-scenes dice rolls, either succeed or fail at various tasks. In D&D, for example, your character might have a strength stat for how hard they swing a sword, and a dexterity stat for how well they shoot a bow. Disco Elysium, though, takes this concept and expands it wide open. Your character is given 24 stats. Things like rhetoric, empathy, pain threshold, inland empire, suggestion, savoir-faire. The list goes on and on. Each of these are essentially aspects of your character's internal self. They provide a basis for dice roll that occur during the conversations, to change how people perceive you, how you perceive a situation, or maybe change how a situation unfolds through either a physical or verbal or a mental ability. There are no monsters to fight, and rarely is anything even resembling a weapon used, but there is a lot of gear management. Part of the game is adjusting all the clothing you're wearing, from boots to the tie around your neck. Each of these pieces of clothing can have an effect on what your skill stats are and give you buffs and debuffs on how well your successful dice roll chance is. The plot starts like a fairly typical storied plot might go. You're a detective solving a murder case. The hiccup is you have amnesia, possibly caused by the fact you are a heavy drug-using alcoholic, which makes for a pretty problematic police detective to say the least. You're paired up with a no-nonsense fellow detective who acts as a sort of audience surrogate in processing the main character's antics. The settings for this story take place in an almost David Lynchian-esque France-like setting in an alternate universe with different geography, technology, and even scientific understanding, but the main story is a human story. A story about capitalism versus socialism, moralism, and centrism. People getting left behind as the society tries to move on without them. Now, maybe in describing this, you think it sounds like a pretty standard RPG, albeit unusual, but not life-changing. I can tell you that over the 20-plus hours that this game takes, and that does not include every side mission, which would require me to do a whole second playthrough making different choices, that something unlocked in how my brain works. Maybe it was the fact that all the aspects in this game are wonderfully voice acted with such a weight and emotion, I couldn't help feel a sense of dread as you uncover more about these people's lives. Maybe the skill system helped me understand how different parts of my brain are always fighting for supremacy, and depending on luck, or maybe the clothes I'm wearing, a conversation I have with someone in real life can be totally different. All I know is that this game changed me, and I don't know if there's ever going to be anything else like it again.